Hi guys, so today I have some new items from LDRS Creative to share with you. It is part of their November collection launch. They did send these items free of charge for my review, and of course all opinions are my own, and any links I have in the description box will be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you're purchased items through those links, so thanks for using those. I think what I'm going to do is pair up the Floral solid layering stamps. I did use it previously for the sentiment there, but we didn't do any of the layering with the flowers, so that's what we'll do today. I picked out the double stitched scallop square. I think what we can do is make a cute little like frame scene kind of thing, so we'll see about that. And then to help me with that, I was thinking I can use the square spotlight stencil, so I know exactly where I'm stamping. That'll, you know, fit in the little square there and be really cute. And then top it off possibly with one of the sentiments from the All Occasions word dies. So what I'm going to do prepare for that is grab some inks, and if you can see, each flower is made up of like 3 different colors, or not 3 different colors, 3 different values, I guess, of a color, or you can mix and match, you know, whatever it is that you like. So they did like yellows, reds, and oranges, and there's like little background, like speckles and things like that, all kinds of fun things that we can use, stems. So I'm just going to grab some inks and we'll get right to it. So I cut on a piece of just white cardstock to about 3.5 inch square. I don't really know exactly the size of that little guy in the center yet, but that looks like it would cover, like we have enough, you know, yeah, plenty. And then I am going to take this guy and this, only because if I don't stamp it quite correctly the first time, I want to be able to stamp it again. Otherwise I would just put this like on a stamp mat or something else like that. So I'm going to put that there. I'm actually going to put a little piece of tape, and then, oh perfect, I was going to say, then I'm going to center this on here, just so that I know I have enough space all around, sorry. And again, that's that outer stencil. Oh, and all I'm doing is giving myself enough space. Okay, and I don't really need this one, I just put it down here. Let's see. I was kind of thinking of doing like a single flower, like the largest one, and kind of focusing on that. Oh, I got a little fluff under there. I don't think it'll be in the way, so it's okay for now, but interesting. Okay. So it'd be this guy and the larger pieces, and they're kind of set up together here. So if you see, like, this one's here and this one's here, you know, everything's kind of nearby. There's little speckles and extra things like that. So generally I start with the largest one, and that should be the lightest color. And yeah, this might be a little bit smaller than this, but I just want to make sure that I'm kind of in the center, ready to go. Maybe a little higher up. And this is a photopolymer stamp, so they smell amazing. They do have a sticky kind of dispersion layer. I don't know if you can kind of see the tackiness that might be on there. It looks a little dull now because I rubbed my finger on it. So you can either rub that off with your ink pad, you can stamp it off a few times. I usually just go for it, but I always mention that because I know sometimes people might have an issue with, you know, their ink sticking or whatever it is. So I'm going to start with the lightest color, which I think is Pink Tutu. So, I mean, so you can get textures. I've talked about that by like streaking a pad like that. And then when you go to stamp, you'll see that stripy texture to it. Just something fun. I think the next stamp is going to cover up that little area where I missed that little tiny dot in the center, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let me see. I feel like it does. Either way, there's that first layer. And then let's go to the next one. I believe the next darkest is Lipstick Jungle. And then after that, I'm going to use Scarlet Rose, which seems to be the darkest. And with these guys, what happens is with most stamps, or with this kind of stamp, they're kind of divoted, and you see how it kind of is skinnier here and it comes out at a point. So that skinny area is what's going to be touching, so you really want to make sure that that's what you're looking at when you're lining things up. And you can see right through here. Sorry, I'm going to bring it closer to me. You can see pretty well right through there where you're stamping, and I'm just looking at the very edge. Sorry guys, that looks pretty good to me. So I don't know if you can see the very edge is touching it, not this outer edge because that's just outside and No big deal. Okay, sorry. Let's get that guy off of there, and let's pick this guy up. Oh. So again, that dispersion layer makes it sticky. I probably should have rubbed that before I put it on there. Again, going in with Lipstick Jungle and then finishing off with Scarlet Rose. So I can dab, dab, dab. That also gives a different kind of texture. You can make it kind of mottled, or you can just, you know, get it on there. I don't know if I want to keep, I'll just make it a little bit like that. Kind of playing with the texture. Okay, and there's that guy. And I'm just gonna wipe it with the back of my hand, but of course you can wash that off. And the last bit would be this guy right here. And I don't know if you can see, it has like, the way it kind of points up right there, that same little area has an area that points up right there. So that's how I'm gonna match that up. Again, bring it closer to me so I can see what I'm doing. And just looking at that very edge, and you can see it really clearly, you know, that little bit. If you're just looking right down at it, it's probably harder to see on camera. And that looks great right there. Hopefully that didn't move. And deepest, darkest red. For that extra little bit. Cool, I like the way it looks with that like stripy look in the back, because it just gives texture to the flower. Very cool. And then we can do some leaves, some little splotches, all that kind of stuff. Let me put this guy over here. You know what? We're probably gonna use this one, because this one has leaves down at the bottom, and maybe when I use my little die, it might cut away some of that. So I'm just going to use something like this, just making sure it's in the right vicinity. That looks pretty good. And I'll use this little bright green, why not? Cute. Very cute. Let me take a moment to clean up what I've used so far, and I'll be right back. At the very bottom, I did bring over the stamp set, the Floral Silhouette, which looks really cute, stamped in black. For this one, I'm going to use the little sprigs and stamp them in green. Just wherever. And generally with something like this, I would just stamp it. But since we're already on a platform, we can just go for it. So maybe something like that. Maybe this guy's a little bit taller. Something like that. And I am going to bring in a new shade of green. So let's just get those guys. You know what? I'll mix them. Why not? I was going to keep them different colors, but let's get some darkness going down here. I don't think I patted this one all the way up. Just mixing those colors a little bit there. It's much easier to use this because you just have a nice flat surface. Looks very cute. Okay, and then let me, oh, there we go. Wipe that off as well as I can, and then do a little bit more. Maybe that way. Like I said, some of this is going to get cut off, so that's fine. And again, light green, dark green, and I'll stamp that out and I'll bring that going. And then, oopsie, I think this came from here, didn't it? I'm gonna take like a smaller stamping block and just take these little like splatters and just randomly stamp them. I want to use a yellow or a, I'll use this one, why not? Again, just kind of randomly add a little texture. I don't know what is going on with that little fluff. Just showed up. Cute. Just a little something, a little texture. And of course you can also do second generation stamping, you know, if you want to keep filling it in, which is just like stamping off again. It adds the smallest little bit of difference there. Okay, I think that's it for that guy. So let me clean up and I'll be right back. While you're here and you have the stencil, if you want to do a little inking around the edge, you can definitely do that, of course. Let me get rid of this and throw that out. Looks pretty bad. I am going to rinse that off in just a minute here. Just right quick from this guy, I think I'm going to cut the background layer out of some kind of color that coordinates, you know, gold or black if you want it to be a little more stark, something like that. And then this little guy, see, he's quite a bit smaller, and I was just trying to get a little scene going. But I use that stencil to help me focus, like where I'm stamping, so that everything's kind of together. Look right about there. That's cute, huh? There. So I'll put a little tape, and I'll cut this little guy out. Now you can also just leave this paper and not use this frame, but cut it out, you know, with this whole background, and then use this inner die with this guy and make a frame, and you can put that on top. So there's different ways to play it up. If you did that, you'd have a little, you know, it's basically the same. It just looks a little different, the effect, right? Anyway, I'll be back. Okay, guys. Oh, how cute. I went to trim down some paper for like the background paper on my card, and I hadn't had a chance to see this guy come out. So let's see. Just some LDRS creative paper that I had in my stash. It was from, like, look how cute that is. Oh, I know. But I'm going to use this side with the red and white dots. And, you know, I'm going to line this one out just because I'm going to put quite a bit of glue. I'm using it for a whole background, and I know it's like a nice finished paper. Sometimes wet glues want to warp your paper no matter how good your glue is. It has to be a very dry kind of glue to not do that. So I'm just going to line this out, and I will be right back. So just put this down. Totally forgot about that little trick until the second and third and fourth piece, where you just kind of peel a little bit of it away, but don't peel the whole thing. And so when you center it and you're happy, then you peel away the rest of the carrier, and that way it makes it easy for you to stick that down. Look at this. I love that double stitch line. And again, if you paired it up with this guy, let's say you ran it through together, then this plus this, you know, you would have a frame, right? Because that centerpiece will be cut out, and then you'd have a little black matte layer that you can use later that has a little stitching. We have that guy. We have our pretty little flower. So what I'm going to do is put some dimensionals on the back of the flower part, but we are going to put this guy here. And then I said I was going to use these guys here, so I think I'm going to use like So Happy For You. And so I'm going to pop that through a couple different papers. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's see about the sizing on that. Yeah, something like that. So we have this guy, and then another color in the background. I probably would use both layers, but sometimes I just like to use just the lettering, so we'll see. But I'll be right back. So I have some dimension on our little painting here. So cute. And then for this, I cut some vellum, because that way it's there, but it doesn't take away a lot from the background or whatever else is going on. And then we have this So Happy For You. I cut it out of gold, just to accent the red. So what I'm going to do is just glue these two together, and then I haven't decided if I'm just going to glue it down. So let's put a little glue on the back of my lettering. And I'll just probably pop it right down there, okay? So I'll be right back. Oh, and I also changed the orientation of my card. I was like, oh, wouldn't it be cute if we did sideways? You know, a little landscape. Why not? Instead of portrait mode, which is my go-to, right? So that's what I did. I'll be right back. Glue behind the letters on the vellum, and then I'm going to pat off the excess. Then I'll bring it here. I'm going to pop that on there. I'll just hold that down for a little bit, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, and there's my sweet card. Very fresh with like a red background. Very modern is what the word I'm looking for, I think, is. Really, really fun. Super easy to do. So happy for you. And thank you so much, LDRS Creative, for sending these items for review. I'll have images coming up. I'll have the links in the description box, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.